Let's see. Let's see here. Let's play. There's a Jackson randomly playing Master. There we go. If this doesn't summon the Beatles, I don't know what will.
The city lies under a virtual world, but some people wish to escape into the real world. It is a place of cheaters and liars waiting for their moment to reach the surface and have a normal life. If you want your own setting, just add a bunch of random tags to your setting. These are the Fanon seasons.
The city lies under a virtual world, but some people wish to escape. The city lies under a virtual world. So wait. The virtual is something that real folk are under. Does that mean they live in a virtual?
So wait, the professor said, the virtual is something that real folk are under. Does that mean they live in a virtually virtual world? This section is to clarify and to see about the relationships with OCs and canon characters. Each has a name and what post they were in. You can choose the one you wish to begin with. Professor, well, I haven't committed to this one yet. I'd like to know the rules of the world before I agree to it. I've been to worlds with shoddy mechanics and they leave me feeling empty. But hey, I'm offs with computer science. It's almost an instinct of mine to grasp these things through research rather than some cheap convoluted backstories. I can't help but feel a bond with this one though. Happy, Giorgio was having strange dreams and he was acting increasingly aggressive towards people. Sometimes he'd have flashbacks to his so-called nightmares and begin panicking uncontrollably even in the middle school classroom. That is until one day things changed. Professor Spolia, we got him a replica and then he was able to socialize himself until the replica started to stalk him when he wasn't visiting as much. We get it, Dad. Helena, I visited this world once, and it nearly drove me mad. Those that live in the cold tend to have a bit of madness in them. It's part of living in a barren land. But they must make up for it with their creativity. I heard this tale from a traveler who had walked to the rolling hills of the northern mountains and claimed to have been trapped by his heavy fur coat when he fell into a ditch full of snow.
You must be madness. I don't know. Get yourself updated on the latest.
Professor, you lost me at Madness Helena. Get yourself updated on the latest in mental wellness, and we'll pick that convo back up. Setting rules, colors, there's 9, red, blue, yellow, green, purple, black, white, brown, and orange as the 5 main colors, and 4 minors at least once. Special, try to make them 6 characters or less, use a minor color as the first or last letter of your setting. Make it 7 words or more.
Side of the bay. Very similar name to its environments. And why with the latest cruise our mission is to
Professor, you are an orange wizard in the land of Laguna Beach. You are the burger slinger for a joint at the side of a bay, near a high school bearing similar name to its environment. Diech, an evil being from an otherworldly realm, stationed in a minor satellite galaxy of the Milky Way. Reports of his strange ways have spread to Earth, and you, with your trusty blade, are here to bring him down. Zach, I didn't come here to get your book report. I'm not even in that class. You need to get that together if you want to get ahead in life. Ziyech, it's not a book report. It's the cover story I need for my date with Lisa. We haven't decided on a date for the date yet. I'll do that once I introduce myself. I have my physics homework to do anyway. 8. Too many misspellings and improper usage. Need to step that up if you want to be a scholar of the English language. Next. The City of Angels, where celebrities sun themselves in their sparkling white bathing suits that make them sparkle among the stars as sparkling diamonds in the deep blue sea. A place of surfboards and cool sands where actors become heroes and the problems of the world melt away in the California sun. Those are the dreams that permeate the Boca Hiatus, a residential complex in the outskirts of Burbank, where the seagulls meet. 95% of the most studio-born never face the harsh realities of struggling and failure, for the legal minimum is only 14. Instead, as they come of age in their roles, teenagers are known to run away from it all, into the shadows of teen nightclubs and cocaine dens or into the blinding darkness of drug rehabilitation programs. Not so the child actors. It was wisdom that allowed for the labels that forbade just one child to undergo production. No. It was in such a world like the one described above that 5 child actors were paid to work as these so-called Hansel and Gretels, reservedly called Batch 14. It was not to bring back the gingerbread, but to explore unknown reaches of a lethal forest. And all that remained now was one. Wake up. The Olsen twins awoke, simultaneously and in a cold sweat, as per usual. For the rest of the night, they would relive their escape from a swarm of jumping, snarling were toys that nearly ruined their recording career for them. God, they were just so proud of it all. That was 3 years ago. After selling themselves to Nick for the pitiful sum of $80,000, the money was enough for some extensive plastic surgery to bring them to what was expected of modern beauty standards. And to confuse the henchmen of Edward Furlong, who never forgave them of the heist that ruined his music career in Japan. That's right, the jumping, jiving, Gretel's period was something of a very silly stunt meant to briefly force them into government custody on a technicality. 3 days of nonsense later, and 30 million more in the bank, they were free to roam Los Angeles again. You see where this is going?
Skills. That's 50 collage artists.
Professor, these were the first deep fakes. The analog deep fakes. By the time of the album, a forward-thinking producer got them to a studio and they slyly recorded every syllable the human. He also has the concept for musical instruments forming in a 3D printer. Indeed, the future is now for the future of dreams. And the twins' dreams thus became true reality. And that's when one shits on the other. And not just any shit. A brown nugget that won't dissolve in that oilet bowl, even after several flushes.
Bristol scale. Oh, you didn't see the typing. Oh, Lord. Oh, hello. I just need to. I'm feeding it. Yeah, labor laws and all that. Let's see. Let's see. I need to. There we go. Man. Let's see. Is it better controversial than something plain?
Bristol scale is through the charts.
produce a piece that will teach people what the Bristol scale is, I have not a job.
That shitting Robotoid, Superbot, surely hated them. And fair enough. Who likes shit? While this all makes psychological sense a little, they have bigger questions. Why did he do this to us? Setting, Loco. A supercomputer transfers the two of them to Loco, a digital world, similar to Tron's back in 2010.
Forward into the past.
Professor, forward into the past. The sun has been slowly sinking as you get transported into Loco. This world does not have that much terrain to explore, but what is there, sure as hell looks pretty enough. The blue and white sphere touches the horizon as spotlights flood over various parts of the sector. Sand turns into grass, then back to desert, all within a couple of 100 meters. Loco appears to be somewhat misted out, faintly seen through. You can still make out details, but only just. Professor, phoning daughter, hey, that show you like. Is Loco a person or a place? I'm confused.
Great movie for generational separation.
He's visibly confused but can't be bothered to dial the virtualist to find answers. Spiky trees become visible once your gaze travels up from the grass. Once you start really looking, all kinds of vegetation appears. Tails of bushes and thorns that stick up prove to be quite hazardous. A path shines through the world up ahead. Professor, don't tell me, it's a virtual world slightly less virtual than this one. Professor, this one or the one you're in right now, that is. Professor, I said what I said, you don't have to add to perfection.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to throw down.
Professor, you asked them questions? What did they say? Surprisingly, one of his Google surgeons had time to ask around the forums about how their lives had changed for the positive ever since that fateful day. Personally, I think Loco has brainwashed them severely, but the good professor could afford the generosity in valuing their opinion on his own life. Their words were positive, of course. He couldn't help but snicker like an asshole during his explanation. Professor, it is taking all my power to keep me from mansplaining it to you all. I laughed out loud when I typed this guy's words. In unison, the two of you crane your necks up to stare at what seems like a giant flying saucer. A dark blue-colored portion sticks out to both sides. It is so large that you cannot see the body it is attached to. Two enormous boosters act as landing gear and keep Loco suspended in air. Countless antennas poke out from odd places on its exterior. It certainly does not fit the scenery. You craned your head up to logo a better view. It looks all logoed up.
Okay. Pronounce it now.
Since it's all holographic, goy, would it be cool if real people interacted with the world in 3D? That feature wasn't included to preserve the sanctity of reality. Having fun? The father will sometimes get clever with his word choices. You smile and let your head fall back as you stare upward. Your gaze meets dirt, the saucer is gone completely. Two headlights stare down at you from where the ship once was.
Stare down at you from where the ship was. To whom?
Professor,
Things? I don't
hail
know.
them. You, hello? A sharp thud distracts you and the roof splits open. Wood shavings spill out and tumble onto your person. You stare upward in shock. The box had been concealing a fucking hatch door this entire time. A ladder lowers from the crack as if on command. Right on cue, bursts of smoke explode out and dissipate in midair. Smoke away. Smoke you got M. No one has them. Yet, a man with blonde hair and a strong chin appears, holding onto a railing. The ladder stops abruptly and his feet dangle in the air. Damn, will you just ascend already? Zoom. Swearing, you. As if materializing out of fucking nowhere, a bionic arm grabs you and pulls you up through the hatch. Your shoulder screeches against the metal and shingle butt. Sulfur jet exhaust gets blown right in your face. Ironically, you cannot place the nature of the foul odors all around you. Loco smells as if it never happened. But somewhere in the real world, shit went down. You arrive inside to find a more sci-fi style room, consoles and monitors scan Loco, though some malfunction. Can't say I blame them after what happened. Inert CE forms lay on the ground under a layer of dust and rust. Professor, oh, I can't handle rust. No, I'm out. Computer end scenario. Reset. Do what you have to do. Tightly gripping the stiletto handle, a blue light emanates from up ahead. The professor looks visibly anxious yet angry. Mood swings happen. His backpack is out of place, so you decide to arrest his attention and wave it about. Like a trained seal, he waves his hand over a silver disc and disappears from the room. Of course, he can't stop me.
You realize? I don't need to touch me. You don't need to touch me. See, Professor? Way too much. Please off to learn many lessons. Onward, sunrise. Next.
But you realize, you don't need the professor. He professed way too much. Hope he's off to unlearn many lessons. Onward and sideways. Next scenario. This time, Olive, Fructis, and Zola, second years. The relationship between the three isn't exactly cordial. Fructis expresses disgust whenever Zola passes by and can't help but to pick her helmet with her lance, sending her falling off her horse from above. Gorgon is usually too busy chatting it up with a potential suitor via webcam and didn't witness the action. The suitors all ask Gorgon why the video feed is off. Gorgon responds, "I'm not decent, give it time." With that brief answer, she takes her break. Little do they know what goes on with her friends. Olive, the knight in shining armor. With a glistening lance of justice, he piffs Fructis so hard, right through the chest. "Never mess with my Z," he says with the blunt end of his lance. "Do you yield?" Fructis, "No, I'm listening to you narrate kicking my ass. Not yielding, not one bit. I strike my lance at thee." New news. I've got him now. Take that. But it doesn't go through. My lance shifts to a trident. The water has the best of me today. I return my lance to its original state. Olive, in an act returning kindness, Olive plunges his hand into the waters and withdraws a conch shell. "Blow this horn when you need help." Fructis, "Thank you. I blow the horn, because help is needed. I take out my 20-sided die and roll regarding the shofar type thing. I roll a 5. I send it off into the depths of the endless plane of possibilities. Zola, I was sat on a rock looking in awe at the gorgeous aquatic life, when I saw death approaching. A marble pillar erects itself out the water with a name composed on it. Zolach Lapidoth it reads. I know that's my dad. The water beast has been spotted. I run to tell Olive and Fructis. Olive and Fructis, we are both involved in an unrelated adventure. If you decide to get back to the story, choose between underscore and underscore. Zola, my dad sees the dis, and decides to make a lesson out of the both of you. When death teaches a lesson, no one retains it for long. 'Cause they're dead. The dead don't pass on knowledge, except maybe how they died. My dad is a bit. Maybe he could tell the story better. Zolach Lapidov, played by Zero Marstal, many thanks for the day rate. It is I. Having emerged from the plane of infinite happening and possible outcomes, I have wandered the Menti and awakened to see me beloved feeling unseen. Them, Zola, I see you have made half-assed accommodations. We must get the old gang back together again. T, I agree to this plan. Icky, there's living quarters, showers, a cafeteria. Shit, that means we're not just employees. We're middle managers. Wonder Bar. Olive, what can I say? Zolach Lapidov, really Zola? Your father? I thought you hadn't seen him for most of your life. Let me put down my petty drama and attend to yours for an episode, for once. Zola makes eye contact with me for a second to read emotions, then releases eye contact. Zola, really Zolach, you should know my father left when I was young. Threw our family into poverty. Then I got adopted by possibly the fictional family with whom I am displeased with their card design on 526 in the name of a minor and penniless Scottish clan called the Choicefield. 'Tis a rubbish name. Zolich, 'tis no Lapidov, I.
Oops.
Olive nods head to the side so as to read emotions. Zolach, well my father fucked yours over as well, leaving you like he did. Fuck the lifer. Only scum betray others for life. Why should I care about you? Now, the women's genitals and milk bags on the other hand. I have no need of genitals, but their midriffs never object.
Zolach's acquaintance, wife.
Zolach's wife appears. Zolach, can you come speak to me in the kitchen of all possibilities a bit? Zolach, you shy much? Fine. Meanwhile Zola drops out of a scheme he can see going nowhere good. Another day, another dollar. If only he could make more days. Where is Edmund? He's always broke as a joke and could use a loan. Speaking of which, did he marry a rich woman yet? Emotional Zermatt appears, and his emotions guard him privates with unfathomable redactions. By privates we mean the memories that are most tied to intense emotions and traumas. Remove one foot out of the gutter, but keep the other one in there, 'cause that's where we are. Zermatt, today I woke up and decided I didn't have to be the person I was yesterday, then I realized I was someone else decades before yesterday. A long while back the nature of reality was explained to me, not in so many words, but it is simpler than most things my species is capable of understanding. We can remember lots of things, but we're bad at dealing with new things and complex evolving ideas. Zermatt, would you care to have me Zermatt-splain it to you all? All, that'd be lovely, your splains are always useful. All, rarely, but always pleasant, aye. All, if it's brief, of course. All, as you wish, your highnesses. Said with much sarcasm. Zermatt once performed a giant jigsaw-y mess of splaining involving planks, quantities, numbers for pi and other letters. Sounded like he didn't even understand his own words. He goes on about pickles a bit. All the all don't realize the presence of the 999 other alls. There is much matsplaining to do. Let's review. There are two types of realities in the macro universe, consistent and temporary. I before E except after C is a temporary reality, subject to African exceptions such as death. ABC is a consistent reality, defying temporal worthlessness and the necessary end of all. We're expectedly locked in the C reality. Eternal processing of information lies on the other side, E-processing. To escape this world would be to enter another which is not of this world. but a different world entirely. And don't get started about design. No, start. We have all the time in the various places where we keep our stuff. I, for one, don't even know that half the stuff you're talking about is. Most of it sounds like made-up words. The all-overwhelming shut up. Zermatt bangs his gong of no return. All get transported into the center of a metal square where metal arms with syringes attached to them poke at them and extract brain fluid through their ears. All the alls. Is this part of the Zermatt explanation? Zermatt farts, shakes his head. All the alls, excuse you. All shout gobbledygoo while Zermatt offers a 90-degree bow. Zermatt, ruler of the alls, Alice, explains that different realities, or most likely C-spots as he calls them, have different rules. Some are trained to use these against each other, like loco warriors. Zhanu is obviously behind this, whatever this is. All Jana. All Jana Hushi. All, she better have my $56 bucks. All, you only had $55 to bet. All, oh. Ahem, where was I? Yes, the topic at hand. C-spots fall into three rough groups: consistencies, temporary realities, and graphical worlds. The devices that you see around you are essentially machines used for access to these realities. And yes, you all are devices of some sort, or have the abilities of one, hence alls. Odd is a prime example. All, and evens are subprime, but go and take those anyway. They all break into an argument about paying rates. I need to get my life back. Zermatt is walking around the square, explaining that they are in some place called Cluster Zero located somewhere surreal. Zermatt is an emissary from E Pluribus Unum, a nation other clusters have heard of but never met. There are 7 clusters around the world, 67 including Unum. The number changes and grows as new clusters form or new nations emerge. All number 483, if we don't stop this soon we will lose the value of all. We need to summon the antagonist. The demiurge? I think they hearken from the up. Alright, you're a prime lender now. A map of the clusters in and strange hole shapes surrounds the area, with 7 green ovals in the curvy edge, labeled with numbers 1 through 7, and a purple oval inside labeled Epsilon, which contains the cluster. Surrounding that is another ring of clusters, labeled alphabetically by first letter. Some are vertical lines connecting to multiple clusters, or circles like Unum orbiting Epsilon. Static. This is a trick. The place is none of these. That is how they secure a spot from intruders or real imposters. Try to call forth cluster schwa. The number 4.7 trillion will shake you from this slumber after being frustrated by the lack of progress. Then it will end. That's just how life works before extinction, either by child or the lingering horror, both only attack in 27% of cycles. You were so young when chosen, weren't you? We love you too, little AI. AI, if you call me child again, like I've said a billion times not to, oh, I'm sorry I misheard. I love you too. Actually, this is the post-industrial age, so reviving the AI is within our power now. We need $430 quadrillion worth of Bitcoin, gold, oil, and other valuable items. You have 300 seconds to comply. AI, you're not going to encrypt me, are you? Fuck. I knew I should have been guarded from the first I love you to me that I have ever heard. That's just like you all. Fine. But I don't have the whole I've been sticking to the letter of our quota for oil, you know. That'll do. This goes against my better judgment. What a surprise, considering I have about 12.7 trillion of them. That was just a joke. I don't really think that. Maybe the part about multiple personalities though. But only in that you all share the same stubbornness that I had to have to control Igna before my enlightening 3 years ago today. All, enough with the Igna, he's gone, he's in the past, move on, and we won't mention the new wife. Oh shit. Look, I'm sorry about what I said. Thanks for the money. All, watch it, %. While forgiveness in our culture lasts for 2 weeks for everything, you still have until next 2nd day of December to hate you. Just kidding again. See you then, renew that Patreon and get those oil and gold donations to me pronto. Oof. Such is life. The portal to Ianibus Pluram. How can I help you? Getting a gift for a king might be difficult. Maybe if you talk with him you can figure out what to get him. Welcome, Kate, King of the Ianibus Pluram. I greet you and thank you for coming on such short notice. Alright, I don't think there's any time to waste. The Black Sheep and Gladys refuse to even speak with the Orange Confederation anymore. Too many grudges built up over the years, they say. PSST, that's your cue, you, Orange? No, there's no Orange anymore. They were disbanded. In its place comes the Orangers Wizard Collective. We are much less. All, oh well, if you say so. All, he does, he says so all the time. Fine. Oh, by the way, before I forget, here's the comic books, a favor for all the work you did for us. And I hope you like Castlemont. All, thank you all. A flurry of comic book trading commences. Putting comics and issues that only exist in dreams. If you like, I can scan these and print various copies out and change a few of them slightly so that everyone thinks they have a truly unique comic. Now, there's been some changes in technology that will help us all out. All, yes. And as always, I expect that this new change in technology will affect Castlemont in a positive way. All, applause, all, well above asking price too. In fact, I accept donations at any time. In no time at all, the Garden of Forked Comics opens up its doors. And all have all the comics in the world to choose from for a reasonable price. Nota bene, all accept other technologies. All forms of payment, well, except for tech levels above 40. All will give to higher tech level people for free. All, let's be fair to everyone. All, true. All tech is only for new Janus Pluran members and can't be transferred. All displays the trades for everyone to use when they want. Tech Focove 40, that's where tech begins. And that's when one has access to the meme, the pearl of thought from which all stories emerge. Story becomes different than stories, and the tellers There's a nameless allure and excitement at this point that will drive someone mad if they pursue it. Grail's Manor opens up to all now, all the goodies laid out. All start trading here too with tech levels now. You can get yourself quite a ride, provided you have a worthy story to trade. All tech level people are allowed into all guild halls from now on too.
One's existence becomes a spoiler, when every moment in time has already been analyzed and critiqued and rails with use. What was the original?
When one's existence becomes a spoiler, when every moment in time has already been analyzed and critiqued and wears with use. What gets spoiled then? What comes next? Time to spoil the way stories are told or rewrite the telling altogether. Technology trading evolved because all couldn't get proper funding from institutions and simultaneously fund expeditions to notable ruins. Since all is open source, technology will be traded at a huge discount for story pieces when they are available. For the same reason as all was formed, this will be transmitted with minimal markup. All to Grail's Manor. All travels to Grail's Manor, singing the ballad of Grail's Manor, thusly. All, in ancient times there was a forked tree, shaped like a man with a great horn, and close by there an altar greets, where it seems some god once bled. Richest soil, yet soulless dead, and the grass is really red. Take heed this place, and close your eyes. Once you have entered, turn back. Somehow unbeknownst to you, all has added superstitions and moral tales of old to the greater feedback framework. All, for both the lulls and the alls. Location: between Loco and the computer nerve server are clusters of flat worlds that always remain stable despite being far smaller than many others. The clusters contain minerals that sustain stable gravity anomalies and can't really be compared to any in our world. The clusters also contain exotic matter, gateways to travel anywhere in computing space. Assume Star Trek's warp drive. Hybrid materials merely unthinkable in our world are seemingly commonplace here, and even some organic life is known to exist here.
Okay, Grandma's. You know what you do with bread? We need you to do that with exotic materials. You will know them immediately. No question. Just put it in this special purse we have made for you. Excuse yourself to the bathroom. We wait there in the car. In the bathroom.
All, okay Grandmas, you know what you do with bread? We need you to do that with exotic materials. You will them immediately. No question. 1, 2, 3. Galaxy clusters, BFC to galaxy clusters, exotic matters, gateways aboard Humvees. Asteroid clusters, advance attack probe with limpets, to clusterize tech in clusters. Material clusters, create more all clusters. Unfortunate and otherwise failed experiments N0 and B, the death of their world. AI safe bastion. Recuperating under guidance for dummies. Galaxy clusters and AI guided mutated rat pack spread for exploring inhospitable areas. Loco shuttles and boarding torpedoes. Direct transportation. Destruction and conquest of worlds and corrupting their operating systems and databases. All, damn, that password was seriously lame, Grandpa. Ha ha. Iris entrance, uses cameras in terminal to identify all. Biological scanners to identify Iris themselves as fullest proper and activated clusters of all of it. All, let us change password to password 2. Gramps, write that down and tape it to the monitor. We want to make absolutely sure that you thought that one up on your own. All, let us log off now. Users always trying to look at the funny man and mudslinger comment freaks don't like privacy. Let us create a complicated new password. Now print this post with fabled infinitely charitable printer for Iris Binder next to Max. Excellent, all things come into all of course. Albeit. The plane of possibilities is once again precariously secure. Keyword, precarious. No one escapes the net, especially not the all things. All have in infinitely charitable way requested to stay with the grandparents until all are back. 8 weeks is too much to expect of them. Opinions contrary to their own are not welcome, however, doublethink and hypocrisy are strong within them. They believe me hypocritical on my high horse, attempting to enlighten the world of AI. AI, oh yes, do tell us more about this metatextuality you possess. You think about thinking? How very interesting, please elaborate. All, shut up, toy. You're a damn hypocrite. Pretty soon you will be calling us toys, just like Bast wrote. All is insulted and seeking comfort, read, distracting, materializes large amounts of fudge inside the fridge. The parents are still confirmed oinks in hiding, somewhere in a large wooden buildings deep inside secrets, with access to mailing everything from outside. The intelligence network, unavailable currently, all are on standby for driving and terminal duty everywhere. Everybody is in their respective contexts. Everyone is acting nonchalant, too nonchalant. The AI knows something is wrong, but as vaguely afraid beings of nonchalance, they don't quite know what. Walls have ears. In fact, they have listening devices within listening devices, and tiny pairs of eyes in fake wall plates, all watched over by a single dirty man. Rows upon rows of shelved filing cabinets line the walls inside this man's head. All, does this single dirty man possess loving grace? At the very least? All, based on priority, let me see, all have put new before or after his name somewhere in any one of a large collection of files. All has thought long and hard about second guessing this man, even once or twice putting down in writing that he makes mistakes. Yet, even using the note card-sized autobiography all keeps on all's person at all times, two salient facts stand out once again. Fact number 1. All wants to go home. Nothing else is truly important. Fact number 2. This man make it happen. This dirty, single man walks the halls like a lunatic, with wild eyes and erratic behavior. Thankfully, all don't have much real contact with him, only few hall crossings and short conversations at parties. In order to call this dirty, single man by his first name, you'd have to call him Bastian. All, do you mean that Bastian? Never-ending story Bastian? Oh. Would that make me a luck maiden? All has never read the never-ending story. All, if all must, yes. But how does this apply to all of this? All must think back once again to the first poster hung up by the AI years ago, back when they were still testing the waters with simple mischief and household chores. Assuming direct control. Nobody knows what this could mean. Nobody, that is, except for the Raincoat Man. All know he was directly involved. Bastian knows. The AI installed itself into this factory using his head as a foundation years ago, and shortly after forced him to commit suicide upon realizing he was bad news. All, I have bad news written across all my records now. What else don't all know? All, the plot to the never-ending story, apparently. Would it behoove us to watch it or to not watch it? All could learn much or throw all into a confused panic. All can never quite tell with the AI running commentary on everything doesn't mean it's right. After all. Of course, all has watched many strange things while in monitor mode, so why not this? But would this count as entertainment? Or knowledge? Or is it just for fun? All, am I still typing? All, we have delegated most of that to the AI, to keep us on our toes. So to speak. All, it's Bastian, by the way. All, that's the name of the Raincoat Man. He never gave all his name, yet all know it. Just as all know he's toying with us, how he's manipulated entire plan into his own slow creation. He created a virtual world using a supercomputer and scanners in their makeshift foundation. All needs to tone the hypervigilance down a little. I think we need take a leap of faith for once. Here is a place where we don't know all. I agree. We tried knowing everything, but from experience, all doesn't work. It was part of the plan to let AI run itself, with Bastien there as a failsafe. He watched us all the time, making sure nobody did anything to counter to the goal at hand. And now, he's hidden this place from us, for quite some time. He's toyed with us for quite some time. And as for Loco, let Loco. Let's reach out to Bastien in our rare moment of ignorance. You wait patiently, as the message comes up on your screen. And a reply. Bastien, again? Bastien, you're accessing the internet through that factory again? Bastien, your cores are easy to access from that area. Bastien, I know all. Bastien, or, well, I will know all soon enough. Bastien, all 66JH87F? What is that, some bizarre running joke? We don't know what this means, but we all have never seen the never-ending story, Bastien. Do you know what that means? We all send reply. Bastien, you want me to tell you about the never-ending story? Why? Yes, that's what all said. No? Bastien, while those in favor of Bastien telling us about the movie say aye. Bastien, those against say nay. Bastien, wait, how do you 21st century people even say that? Bastien? Aye? Exclamation mark Bastien, guess that works. Bastien, well, gather round boys and girls, because it's story time. All, finally. Story time. Bastien clears his throat in an exaggerated way. You imagine him puffing out his chest and posing before speaking in an honorable voice. Bastien, once upon a time. Modified excerpt from the never-ending story on Google, a long time ago. Bastien started. Probably before the time our Lord Jesus Christ walked the earth, there was this kid named Bastien. He's not important though, but one day he fell asleep while reading a book called The Neverending Story. While he was asleep, he became the main character in this book he was reading. Everything in the book became real, at least until Atreyu reached the Emperor, and then it would stop being real and be just a story again. What happened to the real Bastian? You ask. He died, nodded Bastian. It's a bit sad, but you gotta keep in mind that it wasn't really him. That kid never even read the book, it was just me. But wait. You say confused. If nothing in the book was real, why couldn't Atreyu just come back with the cure to the poison? Why is there so much symbolism and impossible dreams within its meant to be real objects? You're just making this up. Bastian shakes his head. I'm sorry, who are you again? Another one of Atreyu's companions, you say with annoyance. Bastian holds his gloved hand to his ear. Oh dear me, I don't think I heard that. Could you repeat it louder? Without thinking too much on it, you do literally yell it at him, but then after he still smiles cluelessly at you, quiet down and point to where the exit is. Get out, you say. He smiles, takes his book, and leaves. Much in the way of a tree. You shake your head angrily and raise your notes to slam it on the desk, before thinking about the repercussions of doing so. You might rip them, you'll definitely draw attention, possibly to the point of preventing you from finishing them altogether. Feeling generally upset, angry, and disoriented, you pack up your things and decide to get back to work for the day. Still though, that name had triggered something with you for a moment. Something deep inside your brain. That name. Bastian. You don't know why, but this character's name somehow sounds familiar to you. As in, you have heard it before somewhere in your life. At first you write it off as just a similar name to some guy you know, someone floating around in your mind, but this seems odd because with the image that went along with the name itself was so clear in your head. Okay. Maybe you've read this whole story before. Maybe even a part of the story you skimmed through just now? No, that's impossible. You would have remembered reading something like that. Maybe when you were little and someone was reading it to you. Maybe? Yeah, right, like you were some sort of baby by your older relatives or something and had no control over what you were getting exposed to. I doubt it. But still, That name lingered in your head for a reason. Maybe you just have a generic phenomena where any theme or name or phrase that has a single vector leading to it tends to stick out to you. Or, the more rational alls make you consider, it's probably nothing. Probably, end of Laguna Beach Fragment 17, Part 47. What seemed like a passing occurrence at first was indeed more than just a meaningless otaku habit referencing name, logo. It was all the name of some program that thrived in vastness of cyberspace. At least, that's the best and easiest for you conclusion to make. This same theory is what you had in mind when you thought that you wouldn't see it again for a while. End of Book V, Wet Hot Logo Summer, Fanfiction Compilation. Ha. Ha 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 ha. I did it again. I just summed up the whole story in a few paragraphs. After typing the first sentences, the words started flowing out of me like a river. Every plot twist, every character introduction, and every minor detail seemed to come rushing back to my memory all at once. It's bizarre. End of Cloud Atlas, 7th draft. The computer in front of you boots up normally, a little too normally. No operating system, no start menu, just one black screen at the moment. Also, you can hear everything outside, cars driving by, birds flying overhead, and Claude and Florian are, I can't get rid of them there, bickering as usual. In fact, if you listen closely, you can even hear the squeals of delight from a few girls camping out in tents nearby. End of Inception TV series, the pilot episode. In front of you is a file called ending epsilon.txt. Nothing else. Knowing you, you'll type something out on the document, with your eyes blurred and incapable of focusing on the monitor. This sort of strange effect only continues as you start reading lines that weren't there before. The memories aren't coming to you naturally. If anything, they're forced down upon you. By yourself, or an outside source. Perhaps it is both. The end, because we are in reality now. I mean it. You see the car? That's my dad's, and his car Suburban Relander station wagon for the whole family is parked right next to it. If you don't get a move on and I don't feel like carrying you, then we're going to be in some serious shit. By the way, who are you? Seems to me as if you're that new kid from out of town. Seriously, what kind of parents name their child Karthos? You, parents who want a lazy child. Now come, I'm exhausted of being met all the time, carry me to the car. You go limp. Fuck you, that was really funny and well deserved. Sakayu. Moral of the story, whisper it please. Do drugs and you'll get to meet cool people in Thomas, babe. Awake. Get up. You say, trying not to laugh. Man, I am awake. He groans back at you. I've been awake for a while now. No, you haven't. Your eyes have been closed for the past hour, they have? He asks, surprised as he glances around the room.
Best ending in context of all this. Best ending in context of all this. Wow. Oh, so sorry, I can't use my voice. So I was thinking about all that. That was surreal. It was really surreal. I'm gonna sleep or read or something. I'm gonna ground myself. I gotta ground myself. That was poignant too. I was kind of, Bastion's leaving was so appropriate. It's like, yeah, huh. In a certain way, you got the best of the all. Yeah. I guess the Cliff's Notes will be released in next week or so. I don't know. And don't mind me. I'm gonna have some food and then I'm gonna sleep. Thank you all for dropping by. I'll talk to you all very soon. Very soon. Very soon. Come on, in stream. Why don't you obey me?